If you remember the last episode, I showed you how to connect our Laravel application to a database. And we've also created this jobs table right here. We did it manually and retrieved the data using Laravel's query builder right here. So, but by the way, if you notice this DB class here, I forgot to mention this in the previous episode that whenever you want to use a class or a facade that is not included within your current working namespace, you need to import its namespace or include its namespace using use statement right here. In our case, we're using DB, so we can use the DB query builder, and this DB facade here is not included within your current working namespace. As you can see, it has different namespace, so we need to import that or include that namespace using use statement right here. So now I'm going to introduce you to Laravel's migration and Elephant model. Now, migrations are like version control for your database, allowing you or your team to define and share the application's database schema definition. You see, if you don't use Laravel's migration, every time your Laravel application is cloned in a different machine or server, you need to back up your database schema and upload that to the new machine or server manually. So if you have ever had to tell a teammate or other developers to manually add a column to their local database schema after pulling in your changes from source control because you've added a new column in your local machine, then you've faced the same problem that database migrations solve. Alright, let me show you how that works. So first, we're going to drop this table here because we're going to recreate this table using Laravel's migration. So I'll go ahead and drop this one. But before that, let me copy these data here so I can just paste it later. So drop this table here. And then we're going to create a migration. So to create a migration, you can either create it manually through database directory and then migrations right here and create manually. Just follow the naming convention there, so you can manually create that. But I don't want to give myself trouble of creating it manually, so I'll just create it using artisan command right here. So to create a migration, simply say php artisan make migration, and then the name of the file. The naming convention should be create table's name, the jobs table, and then the table keyword. So you should be appending table here, and then prepending the create keyword there, and then the table of the name of the table, jobs, right? Hit enter. So now we have the create jobs table migration right here. So I'll go ahead and open this file here. So as you can see, there's already pre-populated fields here or columns. We have the ID. This is the auto increment and the primary key of the table, and the timestamps here. This will create two fields or columns, the created at and updated at columns that will be pre-populated every time you insert a data or updated data using models. All right, now I'll add new columns here. Table. The string should be the varchar data type. I'll say the title, of course, and the length will be 100, and then another column for the text field, the description, and then yeah, I think we're good there. Also, in migration file, we have a up method and the down method there. So as you notice, the down method is dropping the table. So obviously, when you want to roll back your migration, this method here will be executed. So when you run migrate, this up here will be executed, and when you roll back the migration, this down here will be executed. So you see there's another command to roll back a migration. To say if we're going to migrate this, say we already have jobs table defined the schema there. So if we're going to run that, simply say sail php artisan migrate, hit enter. So the migration was successfully migrated. If you check this, you'll see the tables there, and we have the jobs table, right? So now if you are going to roll back that, meaning those tables that has been created will be dropped, excluding the migrations table. Right, so if we're going to roll back that, simply say sail php artisan migrate. I want to roll back the migration that I've created, that I've done earlier. So roll back, hit enter. So now these tables here have been dropped. So the jobs table, the personal access tokens table, everything excluding the migrations table. So if we're going to reload this one, tables are gone. Those are dropped. So now I'm going to run the migrate again. So we have our tables here back again. So we have the jobs table there. So I'll go ahead and add 2 rows here. And now, since we have the data here, we're going to retrieve this data using models. Back to our job controller here, we're using the database query builder here. So to use Laravel's model, we're going to create a model. So to create a model, simply say php artisan make model, and then the name of the model. The naming convention should be singular for the models, and the jobs or the tables in the database should be plural. So the name of the model should be singular, that's job. So now we have our models created within this path here. So models right here. So now we have a job model right there. So now we can call that model here. Like I said earlier, if you want to use classes or facade that's not included within your current working namespace, you need to import that. So in our case, we need to include the namespace of the job model there. So I'll say use, and then app models, and then jobs or job. Now I can use the job table or job model here. So I'll say job where title, our job title there, and then I'll get the first. So now we have a model query here. Alright, now let's save this one and try our browser if it works just like before. Reload this one, and there you go. Alright, now here we're going to remove this one. We're going to change that one. Simplify this condition here. So instead of using that, I'll say first or fail. So this method here will check if there's a record found. If not, then it will redirect the current request to the 404 page, right? So let's try this one. Save. Here, if we're going to omit that one, web is not can't be found. So there's 404 not found there. Also, I almost forgot. Earlier, we've created the migration and the model separately, and there's another way to create the two files all together at the same time. So we have a command that says php artisan make model, and then the model name is job, or let's say post model. And then the option should be create a migration and a controller if you want to create a controller automatically. So what it does is, first it will create a post model, and then with migration and controller. So if I'm going to hit enter, it will create 3 files for migration, for controller, and the model. So let's try it. So as you can see, it created the post model, the migration, and the controller. As you can see here, the post model, the post controller, and at the same time the create post table migration, right? Also, going back to the migration, if you want to add new columns to the existing tables, for example, our jobs table right here, if you want to add more columns here, you'll say php artisan make migration, and then the naming convention is different from the creation of the table. Instead of saying create, you'll say add, and then the name of the field you want to add. For example, sample will be the name of the field that I want to add to the jobs table right here. So add sample to which table? Jobs table. So this is the naming convention if you want to add a new column to your existing table, right? So I'll hit enter here. Alright, so now we have our add sample to jobs table. I'll open this file here. Right, so here I'll add table, maybe string data type, so sample, and then the length will be 50. I'll say nullable. Then if we're going to roll back that, I'll just drop that column here or there, drop column, say sample column. So save. Now let's run the migration, or the migrate php artisan migrate to run the migration. Enter. All right, so let's refresh this one. So we have the sample column here. So that's how you add new columns to your existing table via migration. So by the way, if you want to insert this new column here between these columns here, for example, you want to insert this after description, you'll say let's roll back this first, migrate rollback, so it will drop this table here, I mean this column here, roll back, enter. Alright, so refresh. Now it's gone. So now if you want to insert that sample column there after description, you'll say after description. Save. Now let's run the migration. Migrate. So there you go. If you're going to reload that, the sample field or column that we've added should be right next to the description field. There you go. So that's how you insert columns between columns, or between the existing columns, right? So now, what if you want to change the data type of the existing columns or field? For example, the data type of the text here or description, if you want to change that, for example, we want to change that to varchar. So let's create another migration for that. So you'll say sale PHP artisan make migration, and then instead of add convention or naming convention, you'll say change, and then change the description to jobs table. So I'll hit enter here. Alright, right here, open. So now I'll just say text or string, because it's text, it has text data type, so I'll say string here since string is varchar. So string description, and then the length should be maybe 150 or just say 200. And then this is the important method that you want to use, the change method. So save that one. Now let's run the migration. Alright, now let's check the data type here. There's an error. Let's see. Column description. Oh, so we've assigned 200 there. Maybe say 15. Alright, so save that one, run the migration back again, migrate. There you go. So let's check that one here. Refresh. There we go. Varchar 1500 length. Description from text data type to varchar data type. So that's how you change the data type of your fields or columns. All right. So the naming convention, just follow it and you're good to go.